Yeah, so it sounds like you just need that mental reset
Yeah.
sometimes, because I think that's another thing that's really important is the power of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't realize how much more you have. Your mind state sometimes can have that off switch, which is good, and then sometimes it's bad, because our minds always want us to stop before our bodies do. And sometimes it's a good
Always.
thing and sometimes it's a bad thing. But I think keeping a powerful mind state is something that correlates exactly to your drive. Knowing that, yes, I can take this time off, but I'm going to be back, especially if you have a passion for it. If it's something that you really want in your life, I think you'll always reset your mind and get back to it. So that's what I was kind of taking away from listening to what you were saying with your experience, is that we all need that mental reset sometimes. Sometimes, our minds do get tired. It's almost like a muscle.
Yeah.
It's almost like it needs a little bit of rest to kind of reset itself. Do you do anything in particular to try to keep your mind state clear?
The usual journaling, like meditating in a way. Obviously, it takes years to meditate properly, but just putting myself somewhere where I can't be distracted by much. And really the most effective one for me is journaling, because you're just sitting down, writing stuff. Another one is cold plunges, man. It's just, I don't know, something about, and this works with yoga too, but something about cold plunges, the sensation is so powerful. It's so uncomfortable that it almost shuts your brain off. All you can think about is, this sucks, get out now. And if you can push through that, all of a sudden you're obviously going numb because it's so cold, but your mind is completely zeroed out. It's almost like, oh wow, I'm in my own head. I can hear myself now, like an echo almost. There's no hundreds of thoughts like hitting you, the tornado of whatever you're thinking. Everything is done. Like all your problems in that moment just get erased because how uncomfortable it is. And I've found out that I can actually replicate that running long distance too.
Okay.
So when I was doing those 10-mile runs, like every day, 10 plus, there's a certain mileage you'll hit where your body is just like, okay, time to stop. And your mind follows like, all right, let's go home. What are you doing? Nobody's watching you. You could just turn around and leave right now, and it's just like pushing through that pain of your body and your mind screaming at you unlocks, man, some sort of like key, a doorway into your deeper self, and it's just pushing through that initial part sucks because that's everybody's limiter in life. The moment something gets uncomfortable, and whatever your limit of uncomfortability is and just pain, people stop there. Almost everybody stops there. Okay, I reached my limit, I'm done. If you can somehow push through, dude, you reach through this like new level of just clear, focused mentality that allows you to go so much further. I noticed, like, I'll be 10 miles in and I'm looking at my watch and I'm like, there's no way. I feel like I could do another 20. I could run 30 right now. I don't even have to stop. And it's crazy when you have that breakthrough. I don't know about you. Do you ever get there? Like, have you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you're kind of the one that got me into running and trying to push myself and get past those mental barriers, because you're right. You're like, my mind is coming into play before my body's ready to quit. And if I can just get through that little barrier, it's like I unlock this new potential that I have, something that I didn't know I had inside me, which we all do. Not like we're some special individuals.
Right.
We're just like everybody else out there. It's just sometimes you got to tell your mind, no, I'm going to go a little bit further today. But it was kind of what you were saying about the cold plunges. I was like, ever since you had that chest freezer and we started doing some cold plunges, which we naturally kind of go to cold water and find different ways to suffer. And that's been great. But there's something about knowing you're in this warm house. You can be comfortable as can be, but you're going to physically go into this chest freezer for a couple of minutes and figure some things out. And I haven't ever felt that more as powerful as I have once I've gone into the chest freezer. 3 to 5 minutes, nothing too crazy. But when you're in there, time seems to slow down just a little bit.
Right.
And you're right, because all of a sudden you're focusing on just survival. For me, that's where the clear thoughts come from. It's like, I'm just breathing. I'm just getting through this. And there's something powerful about that. When you get done, you're like, there's nothing else I'm going to do today that's going to be as hard as this.
Right.
So now I'm almost like taking on life's problems, life's woes, and it's almost easier. It's a little bit easier to deflect the negativity or whatever it might be if I'm going through some things that day. It's super powerful, and I'm really appreciative that we've both experienced that together. And I hope that's a big thing our listeners can get into, tap into. I know there's cryo, there's some other things out there, but there is nothing like the chest freezer. I'm talking all the way up to your traps, your neck, in the water, 3 to 5 minutes, find out what you got.
Yeah.
It is something very powerful
You'll
about
be
that.
surprised. You can only last like 30 seconds. Some people are just like quick dip in and out, you know, and I got to go get out of here. This is super uncomfortable.
And that ties into the breathing as well. The yoga, the meditation, all these things correlate together. There's a really powerful human being. His name's Wim Hof, the Iceman.
Oh, yeah.
And that's kind of where we've got a little bit of inspiration from, because he has such an interesting story. What pushed him to his limits? He was at a time in his life that was his darkest, and he found the cold, and breathing really helped push him through. And this is kind of where, you know, our journey started with it all. But the breathing exercises, the cold therapy, it all ties together. So yeah, maybe you're sitting at home saying, I don't have a chest freezer. I don't have the money to go get one and do all this. Breathing will take you there. Just sitting inside your house, doing the Wim Hof method, doing these deep breathing exercises. There's something very spiritual, very powerful about it. And it's another way to clear your mind and kind of keep things at bay, which will then lead to more focus, better mind state, better drive, get you dialed in on your goals once again. I don't know if you've done the breathing method.
I've tried it, man. It's wild. Yeah, when you finally do it right and you start getting lightheaded and giggly, and it's like, oh my God, you know, how do we forget some basic stuff like that? And almost everything, like from yoga to the breathing to the ice chest to whatever, it's all about going deeper within yourself and taking time out of the day to just wrestle with your mind. You know, we like to wrestle with the world and everything going on the outside, and that's where our focus is, on the outside constantly. But true health and mental well-being is wrestling with the inside. And we never do that. We're always looking to like pharmaceuticals. Oh, I feel tired. Oh, I feel this. Let's get a coffee. Oh, I didn't sleep well. Why? What were you up thinking about? That's the number one thing. What was on your mind? Restless mind. How do you deal with a restless mind? We like to dope ourselves up with food. People find comfort in food. They'll go binge eat and then fall asleep. Or sex. Some people seek it through sex.
What helps quiet the voices?
Right. What
in your
helps?
head.
That's just another distraction, but it's not you getting to the symptom. You know what I mean? We're just, here, have some drugs, have some food, have some sex, some vices to keep it at bay for a second. And then tomorrow comes and you're still dealing with it. You never really got to the root of the problem. You know, we're not solving the issue that's deep within your brain. I don't know why we've gotten so far away from that. And it's like all of a sudden we're, quote, rediscovering all this. It's like this has been known for millennia, man. Like monks and all these other people have been knowing this is how you find stillness in the mind, key to happiness, stuff like that. Now we're all shocked.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, and these are things that aren't curable. I think what happens is once you accept that this is a lifelong battle, this is something you're going to battle forever as long as you're breathing, it almost gets easier. At least it did for me. Like once I started accepting like, hey, your mental attitude is going to be constantly bouncing back and forth, good, bad,
Always.
stressed, relaxed. But these are key things we can do in our lives, just the breathing exercises. You don't have to have any money to do this.
Right.
You just take a little bit of time out of your day, 10 to 15 minutes, and maybe it will grow up to an hour. I know a lot of people that do up to an hour now of breathing exercises, and it's not just meditation, it's astral projection. It's trying to take your mind somewhere that's clear of all the stress and thoughts, and you don't realize what that will do for your mental health, how much you'll grow as a person, and it relaxes you. We all have more time in the day. We do. You can limit your phone time.
You can make
limit
time.
your screen time. You can make time. There's only 24 hours, but it's how you choose to spend it. Priorities,
Exactly.
absolutely. And it's really sad to think, because I've been there. I'm only just now starting to level up myself by spending more time on myself, by doing my stretches, by doing my yoga, cold plunges, sauna time, all my breathing exercises. It is hard. It's hard to realize that I have been wasting time on my phone. And it's even better now that our phones track these things. You can go on your apps right now, pull up your phone time, and you'd probably be surprised to see that you're spending
Multiple
3
hours.
to 4 hours on average. I believe that's what the average person right now spends, 3 to 4 hours on their phone a day. So yes, we all have the time. It's just, what are you willing to make the time?
Right.
But this is the most important topic. I think that I'm glad it's being pushed more inside of all social media platforms and all podcasts, all these different things we've been listening to is mental health. It's really coming around to be this big cornerstone of like the next big thing we have to cure, because it is bad right now. We have
Very
so
bad.
much stuff at our fingertips. We have so much information and ways to judge each other, judge ourselves, that it's really making us all sad and depressed. And we're connected, but we're not connected. And we're definitely not connected with ourselves. I think like healing starts with loving yourself, and loving
100%.
yourself starts with the deep breathing exercises, the meditation, clearing your mind. You can have a great day, but it's how you start your day, the middle of it, and the finish
Mhm.
to it.